Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, it is less than a month before climate change skeptic Donald Trump takes over the White House. He won the US presidential election partly on a platform of using more fossil fuels with fewer environmental rules. Now, President Obama has announced climate protections which his successor might not be able to reverse. Porrick O'Brien is in Washington. Tell us more, Porrick.
Well, John, President Obama announcing that in US-owned parts of the Arctic and Atlantic that they would be indefinitely off limits for the future drilling of oil. Now, the outgoing president said, and I'm quoting here, he was taking the action to protect a sensitive and unique ecosystem that is unlike any other region on Earth. Talking about the Arctic there rather than presumably Trump's America in 2017. But that new administration will find this difficult to reverse. And that's because President Obama used an old piece of legislation from back in the 1950s, which essentially enables him to ban the leasing of offshore resources indefinitely. How did Republicans react to this? Here's how they did.
The Arctic's going to be developed. We know that. So now what we're going to see is companies taking their resources and their capital to places that don't have the high standards that we do, to places like Russia.
Well, of course, Donald Trump has his own pretty strong views about the environment, yes?
Yes, he does. I mean, we're seeing again the rhetoric during the campaign really been fleshed out in concrete terms here. He's loading cabinet positions with fossil fuel promoters. We have the boss of the Environmental Protection Agency, the heads of the Department of Energy's, all climate change deniers. And then, of course, we have Rex Tillerson, the man that Trump wants to be Secretary of State. He's the boss of oil giant ExxonMobil. Environmentalists have dubbed that appointment an epic mistake, said it'd be like appointing the boss of a tobacco company to be Surgeon General. He's also on record, though, interestingly, talking about lifting sanctions against Russia. Now, that could lead to a bizarre situation where US oil companies are drilling in the Russian-owned part of the Arctic, but not allowed to drill in the American-owned section of the Arctic, which would be a bizarre situation for America to find itself in. So really, I guess what we're taking from today, John, is that this sort of policy swan song by Barack Obama is very much out of tune when it comes to the orchestra ahead.
Porrick O'Brien in Washington, thank you very much. And of course, there's a lot of other environmental issues that Mr. Trump has raised which were not addressed by the president.
I've been again